All right. I wanted to share something in this space just before we get started as we wait for people to come in. I'll do a little self-disclosure. I just got coached this morning, and something relevant to, I think, this space and a lot of the dialogues that people are in this space and in one-on-one spiritual direction. I was experiencing and hadn't realized that I was experiencing fear around diving into a new structure for organizing my thoughts, organizing my beliefs, and even my self-concept and that sort of thing, because of the way that I honestly, I'll just lay it out for you. I was afraid of fear because of where fear had taken me previously in my life, that fear has driven me into certain beliefs, into certain models, into certain spaces that I no longer adhere to. And given I can acknowledge, I can do all of the work that I give to y'all as far as acknowledging what that has given me in my life, and that part self, that past self that made those decisions and made those calls out of intentional spaces and what has given me, but still this fear remains around, am I just going to get myself into another space, another belief system, another thought pattern that I'm going to have to heal from down the road? And my coach was really pushing me on self-compassion. What does it look like to have self-compassion there? What does it look like to just be a human? One of my struggles, I know some of you also struggle with that. But what does it look like to have self-compassion in that space, and also in, all of the spaces? And her thing also, I know that many of us have talked about this, is the metaphor that I use sometimes also, but what does it look like to allow fear to drive the bus instead of self-compassion? Because fear will also always be present, but not allowing it to drive the bus, to push us into certain beliefs or certain spaces or certain actions, behaviors, to allow self-compassion to drive the bus and drive us into different action, different spaces, different beliefs, like that sort of space. So that's something I received this morning that I wanted to pass on to all of you as well. I am obviously still going to suss it out. I still need to sit with it for, years or something. But I wanted to share it with you. I also have another thought too, just from a different session this morning, just how prevalent self-trust is, and thinking of self-compassion, that story that I just gave to you, also how intertwined and ingrained that self-trust and self-compassion have to be, that they have to go hand in hand as well. As we learn to stepping into places of self-trust, we also have to learn deeper and deeper experiences of self-compassion. We have to have that self-compassion in order to trust that self-trust. And for those moments when we aren't trusting ourselves, when we aren't being driven by trust in ourselves, our own intuition, our own spaces. So there's some thoughts for you today.